The steroid Olympics are coming your way, where athletes are allowed and encouraged to dope. Do I think this is a good idea? Bad idea? What do you think about it? We're going to get into it. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and Satan, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. The enhanced games. Tell you what it is in a second, all about it. It's pretty intriguing at the very least. But first, why in that world are we covering this on our channel? Reason being, it has to do with freedom and bodily autonomy. That's why I think this is a relevant issue. Obviously, we're not really a sporting channel, but I think this has some pretty intriguing points unto itself, along with the overarching aspect of freedom. So let's get into it. So this organization is going to hold what's essentially an alternative Olympic Games, allegedly at the same time as the Olympics, a little healthy capitalist competition there, where athletes are allowed to dope, seemingly encouraged to dope, therefore no drug testing, and they're touting, hey, we're going to have world records broken, it's going to be amazing. We're going to analyze one of their claims about they have a guy who's actually broken Usain Bolt's world record. We'll see about that. And here on the organization's website, enhanced.org, it says, backed by the world's top venture capitalists, who cares, the Enhanced Games is the Olympics of the future, when 44% of athletes already use performance enhancements, and that's apparently according to the Olympics' own, statistics. It's time to safely celebrate science. Sports can be safer without drug testing. Well, quite a claim. And elsewhere on their website, understanding what are these games? What's the ethos? The Enhanced Games is designed to incorporate the technological and social advances of the 21st century. Because the games have been designed by athletes for athletes, athletes' rights are central to our decision making, which is why we have a fair remuneration structure, which I think means they're paying athletes, and are protecting our athletes' right to bodily autonomy. Now that's an interesting point, and I think that has a lot to do with freedom here. Protecting the rights of athletes' bodily autonomy. You ever hear the saying, my body, my choice? Cool, let's take that saying, and I largely believe in that saying, not necessarily when it comes to killing innocent children, by the way. But theorizing with me for a second, I do believe you and I have the right to do with our body what we choose, whether it harms us or enhances us, so long as we're not infringing or harming other people. So if an athlete wants to take performance enhancing drugs, whether they're doing it quote unquote safely or going really extreme and doing it unsafely, I do believe that is their choice. We're not talking about hormonally enhancing 9-year-old boys who want to become a girl. That's a minor. I'm not talking about minors here. We're talking about adults who are making choices from their adult faculties. I like the idea of okay, we're supporting people and their right to bodily autonomy. Cool. Full details of the compensation structure will be announced in mid-2024. After all, it's your body. It should be your choice. I like how they're really leveraging one of the objections people would raise to this. So they can't raise the objections or else they'll be hypocrites. Hello, woke crowd. By embracing science and not drug testing, athletes competing in the Enhanced Games will be able to use medicine and performance therapies that help them perform at their best on an open, fair, and honest playing field. Cool. Now, anything I've heard about this, and we'll hear Joe Rogan talking about it in a second, people are excited about it. And quite honestly, I don't think they're all about hey, this is actually an expression of freedom, their body, their choice, let them do it. If they've got an adult mind that can make decisions and accept the consequences of those decisions. Most people are kind of yeah, I want to see a freak show. Let's do it. Well, here's some statistics from Enhanced's founding doctor in a couple minutes, but some of those statistics show 44% of Olympic athletes are already on drugs, but only 1% of them get caught. So part of the typical Olympics or drug testing sports competitions, part of that competition is competing to see who doesn't get caught. Statistically in the Olympics, according to allegedly the Olympics' own statistics, 44% of athletes are doping. Now, if you're entering a sporting competition where it is no performance enhancements allowed, and then you use performance enhancements, I don't support that. That's dishonest, even though a lot of people do it, but that's dishonest. That's not fair. However, if it's an open playing field and there's an agreement, You can dope if you want. Cool. That actually brings more honesty and transparency rather than the dishonesty, the deceptiveness of some athletes and say the normal Olympic Games who are competing clean and others who are competing enhanced. There's dishonesty. There's not a lot of integrity in that, unfortunately. By the way, remember the height of baseball is when people were juicing the most. People loved watching it. Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa. People love watching this kind of stuff. And with their billionaire investors like Peter Thiel, I can imagine why major investors are getting behind this, because they know when it comes to sports, people want to see people perform their best. Not necessarily with the disclaimers. It's not, I want to see people perform the best, as long as all their hormones are in the physiological normal range and they're not taking any performance. And people generally don't care about that. People tuned in like wildfire watching Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa have their steroid fuel home run fest back in whatever that was, the late 90s. And these investors know that. So I think from a business perspective, they're smart. They know people want to tune in. From a freedom perspective, I like it because your body, your choice, as long as you're not killing babies or hurting other people. And the transparency and honesty where it's like, hey, honestly, you can be on drugs. I first heard of the enhanced games listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and here's a short clip of him talking about it, which is reposted on the Enhanced Games Instagram page.
Have you ever heard of the enhanced games?
No.
It's a thing they're trying to do where I guess what they're doing is they're allowing athletes, and they're going to do it at the same time as the Olympics.
Okay.
And they're allowing athletes to juice. And they're doing it supposedly responsibly with doctors involved, and they're trying to break all the records.
Yeah. I like it. I think I like that. Let's do it. And just be honest about it. Like, yo, this is the deal. This is what we do. Let's freaking see how far we can go.
Right? Because, like, you think about that guy, the Iranian that you wrestled. How much of an advantage is it?
Here's what I don't like about the enhanced games. When people get competitive, they will go to extremes. I do believe, now I'm not a doctor, and obviously I needed to tell you that because you probably thought I was a doctor. No, I identify as a doctor. Now I'm a self-identified doctor. Easy as that. I do believe it's possible to use performance-enhancing substances in a safe way. I think sometimes even in a health-enhancing way where your health is better off than if you weren't using them. For example, I've been on testosterone optimization therapy for quite a while, not to super physiological levels, but with the medical professionals I work with, it's intended to get my testosterone levels within the optimal range, not just like the normal range of like diseased Americans, but in an optimal range. That would be considered a performance enhancing substance from some governing bodies. So I think that's an example of you can actually enhance your health. I can tell you how to do that. You got to work with your doctor and your astrologer on that. But when it comes to competing, certainly there's many examples where the competitors will absolutely compromise their health, not by going into optimal ranges of various hormones, but going into super physiological ranges, levels of hormones that their body isn't naturally designed to handle, let alone introducing other substances. I'm not talking about like testosterone, which is a normal hormone in your body, but a bunch of anabolic steroids that are compounds not naturally found within your body. Therefore, your body doesn't necessarily know how to ideally deal with them. Therefore, that can lead to health risks. It can absolutely lead to shortened lifespans. Now, I would imagine these enhanced games would be a breeding ground of competitors who are willing to compromise their health in the name of short-term performance. That's what I don't like about it. Do I think people should still have the right to do that? Yes. Their body, their choice. Now let's take a look at a short interview with the founder of Enhanced Games, Dr. Aaron D'Souza.
So here now, let's welcome in President of the Enhanced Games, Aaron D'Souza. Aaron, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. First of all, just talk about the motive, the purpose of potentially having these games.
Well, when 44% of Olympians, according to the Olympics' own research, are to use banned performance-enhancing drugs, it's time to do this out in the open and be honest. Only 1% of Olympians get caught.
That's the bringing more honesty and transparency thing. If here's what we're doing and everyone agrees to that, that's actually a positive thing. But if it's like, hey, we're drug testing, don't do it, and we're like, okay, 44% of us are going to do it, we're going to try to not get caught, only 1% get caught, some are competing, no performance enhancing substances, that's obviously been a problem in sports for a long time.
And I heard you talking about the Super Bowl earlier. According to research done by Bleacher Report, up to 40% of NFL players use human growth hormones, which would get them banned from Olympic competition. So the use of performance enhancements is rife across the sporting world. So let's just do it all out in the open and inspire the world to believe in science again.
I don't care about that. Inspire the world to believe in science again. I think that's just a talking point, trying to make themselves look better. They don't give a crap about inspiring the world to believe in science again. Though I do think we need to believe in actual science again, not necessarily the guy who says he's science.
You're absolutely right. We do know that there are some athletes who do use performance-enhancing drugs, but some
More than some, lady.
people say that games like these would potentially put the athletes themselves in danger. What is your response?
Absolutely not. If you look at the total clinical risk of performance-enhancing drugs, particularly anabolic steroids, it's significantly lower than alcohol, cannabis, or other substances that are perfectly legal. And this is not my research. This is research conducted by Professor David Nutt and published in The Lancet in 2012. And so the scientific literature is deeply supportive of this. And at the end of the day, adults with free and informed consent should be able to do to their body what they wish.
I agree with that. And also I disagree with something he said where he's saying now these athletes won't be at increased risk. I think they will. If you think about an athlete competing in like the normal drug testing Olympics, for example, they probably have to be careful with what their levels of PEDs are, because if their levels of PEDs are just absolutely through the roof, I would imagine they have an increased chance of being caught through drug testing. But here, they don't have to keep their levels of PEDs in check. So I would speculate they probably are at increased risk.
And we should have an informed scientific discussion about the risk.
Are you concerned at all, Aaron, that this sends the wrong message?
No, absolutely not. So you could make the analogy that Formula One encourages young people to drive fast and recklessly, but that's in fact not true. Motorsport encourages young people to respect the crafts of the motorsport profession and inspires young people to pursue engineering careers. And I think that the enhanced games will do the same thing. It will encourage young people to believe in science and medicine, so important after the COVID pandemic when the approval ratings of scientists are at a record low.
I think he's just using PR propaganda here.
Then to encourage our young people to pursue STEM careers and then careers in medicine.
And I could see, if where this could be embraced, if everybody were allowed to do this. Do you think there is a world where performance-enhancing drugs are embraced in mainstream competition?
Absolutely. Just on Friday, James Magnuson, who is a 16-time Olympic and World Championship medalist and a hero of Australian swimming, announced that he will be competing at the first Enhanced Games and aims to break the 50 freestyle swimming world record, which is the iconic race in the pool.
And really quickly here, at the top of this, we said this could become a reality. Kind of where is it at this point? What will it take for this to actually happen?
Well, if you asked me 2 weeks ago, the hardest thing was money and athletes. But now we have the billionaires Peter Thiel and Christian Engermeyer, along with many other venture capital funds, who put millions of dollars in to make this a reality. And now with James Magnuson, we have one of the world's greatest swimmers. And I have about
wonder why they don't have Leah Thomas, one of the world's greatest swimmers, involved.
A few thousand athletes in my inbox who are ready to compete at the Games. So it's a reality. Okay. The Olympic Committee can do all it wants to stop it, but the future is here, and you can't stop progress.
You can't stop progress. Okay, whatever that means. I would speculate one other thing before we get to a rather outrageous claim the Enhanced Games have made. I would be really suspicious that they won't get the best crop of athletes competing in these games. Why is that? Because the Enhanced Games, they're not rooted in like a stable structure. It's essentially a startup company. So there's no guarantee that it'll be here for years into the future. In fact, with many startup businesses, let alone something that takes a lot of capital to run, I would guess odds are better than not that the Enhanced Games will go out of business and fold, in its childhood of business. So if an athlete is saying like, hey, I could abandon like Olympic competition or my drug testing sport, whatever that is, and just go all in Texas Hold'em style. I'm all in on these PEDs. Let's do it. They kind of show their hand, because if the enhanced games folds, then they've basically outed themselves as, hey, I'm a PED user, which I would imagine would make their entry back into their regular sporting organizations challenging, because they might have been in those sporting organizations already using but masking it. And even if they weren't doing that, then they try to go back to competing natural. I'd imagine those sporting organizations might have a little bit of a blacklisting thing going on. I'll show you a video from the enhanced games. It's a short promotional trailer where they're making claims that they've got a person who can run faster than Usain Bolt. He's a world record holder, I believe, in the 100 and 200 meters. Also, I have no evidence that Usain Bolt's not using PEDs when he made those world records. I don't know one way or another, but I do know that the possibility of him using it's not zero. The video, as it's posted on their Instagram, it says, he's the fastest man in the world and a proud enhanced athlete. He has broken Usain Bolt's world record. The new Olympics are here, backed by VCs. Who cares? Okay, so that's their claim. Let's take a look at the video.
I am the fastest man in the world, but you've never heard of me.
Got good glutes.
I have broken Usain Bolt's 100-meter record, but I can't show you my face. I am a proud, enhanced athlete. The Olympics hate me.
Is that an honest, authentic claim? I'm skeptical of that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a shameless marketing ploy, and if it in fact is just a marketing ploy and it's not coming from a place of honesty where they actually have that athlete who's faster than Usain Bolt, then I would say that tremendously discredits the Enhanced Games organization. Here's what Joe Rogan and PED expert Derek from More Plates, More Dates has to say about that exact video. Take a look.
Look at this. He's the fastest man in the world. He's broken Usain Bolt's 100-meter record, but the world isn't ready for him. The Olympics hate him. Come watch him compete in the 2024 Enhanced Games. Who is this person?
The video says he can't show his face. So it says, yeah, right there, I can't show you my face.
He's white, though, so I'm skeptical.
That's crazy. That guy's faster than Usain Bolt? Really?
This also is a marketing video, so...
Yeah, maybe it's just like this hypothetical person exists.
Interesting. Look, it says new version of the video as Twitter decided to take down the last one.
It's pinned from July, so I don't know.
Huh.
Did Elon even own it then?
When did he buy it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Like, we can't show you his face. Yes, you can. You're the Enhanced Games. Like, it'd be better if you showed us your face. So that makes me suspicious of that claim by the Enhanced Games. Someone who's trying to bring transparency and honesty to sports and freedom. I don't know. I'm skeptical of them doing just that with that marketing video. That's the rundown on the Enhanced Games, essentially the steroid Olympics. Let me know your thoughts if you think it's a good idea, bad idea. In general, cool. Like, I support it. Will I watch it? No. I don't watch sports like this ever, so I won't tune in. But if I had to choose between watching the woke Olympics run by the Illuminati or this, I would watch the Enhanced Games. And of course, like anybody else, I'd rather see a freak show than a tamed down version of it. But I probably won't be watching. That's my opinion. Again, let me know your opinion in the comments below. And I appreciate you watching this, my freedom-loving friend, and look forward to seeing you next time. But first, here's a special message not brought to you by PEDs. Hi. I don't know about you, but I've been having trouble sleeping. It takes me forever to fall asleep, then I'll wake up frequently at night, and in the morning, I always have really low energy. It sucks. And maybe like you, I have tried everything under the sun to try to get better sleep. I stayed up late watching TV, I scroll Instagram right before bed, I check my texts, my emails while I'm in bed, I turn on all the indoor lighting at night, I drink coffee, I've gotten into late night political arguments with who are now former friends. I've even tried holding weighted elephants and none of it worked. Some of that even made my sleep problems worse. But then I started taking Awaken CBD sleep gummies. Now at first, I thought they would make my sleep problems worse because they have the word awaken in them. But I started taking them thinking they might help my erectile dysfunction, and they didn't. But they did help me fall asleep faster, sleep deeper, and wake up in the morning with more energy. I was actually shocked at the profound effects my sleep had because quite honestly at Awaken CBD, we don't really know what we're doing, but we accidentally hit a home run on this one. Do not take sleep gummies if you're driving a car, flying an airplane, wingsuit jumping, bullfighting, performing open heart surgery, doing a home invasion, meeting a Tinder date, or performing advanced level mathematics. Upgrade your sleep, one of nature's most profound medicines, with Awaken CBD sleep gummies. Just go to awakencbd.com and grab yours today.